It's now time for the changing weather. Good morning. Hope everyone's doing great. Here's some coffee. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak. This is the changing weather, and we're going to talk a little bit about sports to start, and then we'll get to the weather forecast. The Bills are playing the 49ers in Buffalo tonight. There's been all this talk about snow and lake effect snow, and there's a chance tonight, but the biggest snow is just south of Buffalo, so it's something to watch closely. Speaking of sports, how about those Kansas City Chiefs? They are 11-1. Have you ever seen a team more criticized than the Kansas City Chiefs at 11-1? If you've been reading some of the chatter on X and other social media outlets, then you may see all these things about the Chiefs are the worst 11-1 team since ever. Okay, the worst 11-1 team ever in the NFL history. Okay, here's the problem. They're the reigning Super Bowl champions, all right? Not just the reigning Super Bowl champions. They've won 2 years in a row, and they're going for a three-peat, right? A team that has won 2 Super Bowls in a row is 11-1, right? That alone doesn't make sense. That statement combined with they're the worst 11-1 team ever. Yes, have the Chiefs gotten a little lucky here and there? Has Mahomes had not the greatest year so far? However, this is what happens when a team goes with 2 straight years winning the Super Bowl and how complacent they can get. So I think there's some of that. Yes, there's all these issues with the offensive line and things that are going to get better, I'm telling you. So the 2-time Super Bowl champion going for a three-peat is 11-1. That's incredible, right? Last year, they were saying the same kinds of things. The Chiefs don't have it, and guess what? They won the Super Bowl. I think there's just a natural thing that happens where a team, it's hard to stay focused, you know? So, hey, this is the changing weather. Kansas City is having an interesting weather pattern. Let's go take a look and see what's going on. First of all, we're going to go to Buffalo. We're going to start with the storm of the day. All right? Look at this, the storm of the day. Let me put this into motion for you and show you. This is the storm of the day. You can see the snow that is in Buffalo this morning, just south of Buffalo. I'll put this into motion for you so you can see. But look, Buffalo is right here. And these lake effect snow bands are going in south of Buffalo. You see that? So this is the water, the air is coming over Lake Erie where it's warmer. The colder air is coming over, forming into clouds and then snow. It's called lake effect snow because it's not really a big storm. There is some snow also in parts of West Virginia and eastern Kentucky this morning. The rest of the nation is fairly quiet, including Kansas City this morning. So what is lake effect snow? Take a look at this. The colder air comes across Lake Erie or the Great Lakes. It has to be a large body of water. This is showing a small one, but this is an example. And then it goes over the warmer water, okay, and then clouds form. And if it's cold enough on the other side, instead of rain forming, the moisture rises, clouds form, and then it forms into lake effect snow bands, and they go across near shore, and they can produce 2, 3, 4 inches of snow in an hour for hours if you're in one of these bands. So that's what's going on in the eastern part of the country. And so the lake effect regions on the east side of the Great Lakes most of the time, because the cold air comes in from the northwest, as you can see here. So a little lake effect snow lesson today. You can see a cold front coming down. This is Sunday night, heading down across Iowa and Nebraska. It's absolutely fascinating because the weather pattern is cycling regularly, and it is really interesting how this is set up. So this cold front's coming through. It's a dry pattern right now. The LRC, though, is setting up. The weather pattern above us is cycling regularly. And we're sipping on some coffee, getting started today. And let me just tell you, something big is happening in the weather pattern. So let me take this full again and show you. All right, so this is the surface map. Here's Kansas, here's Missouri. There's a cold front coming towards our area, and it is caused by the flow aloft. Here's California, here's Oregon, here's Washington. This is the jet stream coming across the northern Pacific and then down around this upper level trough in the Great Lakes up in the Hudson Bay in Canada. And it's a colder weather pattern right now. However, we are forecasting that this is going to shift within the next 7 to 10 days. By about a week from now, energy from the Pacific is going to start coming in like it did in October and November, earlier in November. So this is the beginning of what could be a very wet weather pattern developing. So very interesting. The weather pattern is cycling regularly according to the LRC, and we will be discussing this a lot more in detail coming up. So you can see there. All right, now let's take a look at the next chart. You can see here we do have our forecast for Kansas City and Oklahoma City today. We're expecting 34 for a high in Kansas City today, so some of that snow will begin melting. 35 degrees in Maryville. They didn't get much snow or anything up there. Oklahoma City, 55 degrees. How about in Colorado? The ski areas are going to be in the 20s, 29 degrees with a low of 8 degrees. Denver, 54, so a pretty nice day with no precipitation, no storm systems in the Rockies. And out in the western part of the country, in Los Angeles, 71, Palm Springs, 78, and Lake Tahoe, 48 degrees. Some freezing fog around Lake Tahoe. So those are the forecasts for the areas today as we use the LRC to predict these things. So I hope everyone's doing fantastic. This is Good Morning, the changing weather, and we'll be let me know what you think of the show and like our YouTube channel. I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak. Thank you for watching The Changing Weather.